Let's talk about Google Finance. This page right here is Google Finance. Normally it doesn't have this large brown banner at the top, but as you can see, it says that Google Finance has been renovated, and the portfolios feature will be taken down soon, and so on and so forth. So let's have a look at the page. It's got the overview of the market right here, the indexes, and a bunch of news, and a bunch of stocks in a portfolio. Here's the world markets. Big old list here, lots of information, trends. You can sort them by whatever you like. You can go by what's popular. Well, that doesn't seem to be working. Price. It's pretty common that things stop working on Google Finance. It happens all the time. It's a Google thing. And you can see what did really well in price and what did really poorly today. Market capitalization, same thing, and volume. And one of the really interesting things about Google Finance is that you can look at so much data. Like, let's say you're interested in healthcare companies. Well, I can click on the healthcare link as I just did, and there you go. Look, first I get all this information in the graph about how the basket of healthcare companies is done compared to the general stock index. And I can do anything I want with this graph. I don't know what that dip is. I can't go before 2013 with this graph, but anything else, I mean. I can look at the past year. I can zoom in. I can move it around. I can customize the day that I want. I can't do that here, but I can drag it using these tools here at the bottom to select the part of the graph that I'm interested in seeing. And down here are a list. It's every company in the healthcare category, every single one. I can look at it, I can compare their information. Such power. And it's basic information, but this gives you a framework for understanding what's going on in the market and who's there and what's happening. You get the price, the change today, the change in percentage, the size of the company, price per earnings, which doesn't always come up depending on the information available to this platform, their revenue and their income. So that's a lot of good information there. And you can do that with any sector, not just healthcare. So if I can go back here, which I may not be, but I don't know. We have these various categories. So let's have a look at a stock. Let's see. Oh, by the way, did you see that? Look at that. Look at all those suggestions. Wow. Okay. So here is a stock. It's Berkshire Hathaway Class A. Rather expensive. Now, the reason I'm looking at this stock here is because it's very low volume. It's a real stock. People actually buy and sell this. It's not one of those low volume stocks that's low volume because it's a bankrupt company or it's a scam or who knows what is going on with it. It's just a low volume company because, well, in this case, the price is very high for this class of share. And you can see if you look at a given day, like let's say I want to look at Thursday, January 18th. Get over here, Thursday. Get over here. This is Thursday pretty much. I might even be able to type it in like 18. Type. There it is, January 18th. Or maybe what I want to see is January, the same day from last year. I can type it in right here at the top. And this is the day. However, Google Finance doesn't keep the detailed information that far in the past, so that's too bad. But Anyway, going back to where we just were. These little boxes are not the easiest thing in the world to use. All right, that's totally not what I asked for. I asked for January 18th, 2018. I just pressed enter. Okay, anyway, getting back to the point. Here is today's results. And look at this. I can see that at 12 o'clock, 2 shares were either bought or sold for $312,380. And then 5 minutes later, that was the next trade. 1 share was bought or sold, $312,440. 1 share. So, I mean, because the volume is so low, it actually keeps track of the actual numbers. And I mean, it works that way for any company, except when a stock has more volume and many different trades, Google Finance will add the volume of those trades together for a given time on the graph. And you can look at this. I can zoom in on the graph. I can zoom out. I can do whatever I want. I can look at different years. I can look at all the information available, going back to before Google Finance was a thing. I can just look at the year to date. I can look at the last 6 months. I can look at the last week. I can do whatever I want to look at this data. I can compare with other stocks, like, well, let's just pick a stock. I don't know. So here I'm comparing Apple to Berkshire Hathaway Class A. Berkshire Hathaway Class A is the same thing as Berkshire Hathaway Class B. It's just much more expensive, but the actual, it's just a larger piece of Berkshire Hathaway. Class B is a smaller piece of Class A. And you can see how Apple has done so much better than Berkshire Hathaway in the last 10 years. Impressive. So anyway, that's a lot of tools for looking at data. Let's look at the new Google Finance. So here it is. You're probably wondering where the graphs are and where the data is. And I mean, there's these little, tiles here, or whatever you want to call them. And here's some news. We have some of the same information, just sort of stretched out here. And there we go. That's the end of the page. Interesting. Let's look at that stock. Okay. And here it is. Very nice, clean page. Not a lot going on here. I can't seem to do anything with this stock, with this graph. No chart available. That's weird. Okay, there it goes. So yeah, I can't move this graph anywhere. I can't see volume on this graph. I can't zoom in or out of this graph. Yeah, that's the page. In order to show you the most relevant results, we have omitted some entries very similar to the 18 already displayed. U.S. stocks will likely run higher for another 11 years. Right. Not gonna go there. So that's the whole page. I mean, compare. Okay, I can compare. What am I doing here? What am I comparing? Let's type in Apple. Okay, there it is. So I can still compare two stocks, but I can't do anything with the graph. This graph over here is a flash graph, and I mean, Google has not been a fan of Flash for a long time for a couple of reasons. And I'm not disputing that there are problems with Flash. However, the solution was probably not to use something worse than Flash. In other words, if you resolve the proprietariness and the security issues of Flash, but then you get rid of all the features, then have you really solved any problem? But anyway, financials. Oh, this is just for Berkshire Hathaway. So what if I want to look at the category where I see all of the different stocks that are similar to Berkshire Hathaway and in the financial category? Where do I find that? Question marks? Market summary? No, that just takes me back to the front page. By the way, if I click on this, suddenly I'm at google.com. I don't know. I don't know. Meanwhile, over here, when you click on this, you're going to go back to the Google Finance because, as it turns out, Google Finance is your own, it's a page, whereas this is just supposed to be like a tab on google.com. I don't know. So anyway, this is getting replaced with this. And I don't know. We're missing a lot of data here. So, and there's like no graphs, and I'm just sort of wondering what the deal is. Now let's talk about the portfolios feature. Now, one of the things that Google is doing is removing the portfolios feature. This is because they want to make Google Finance worse. And the portfolios feature is where you add a bunch of stocks that you're looking at into a basket, your portfolio, and then Google Finance will just keep track of it. If you want, you can add transactions, and let's have, this is the tile. It's not a tile. What is this? What's the word for this? Anyway, here's a bunch of stocks that I put into a portfolio. I don't own most of them, but click on my portfolio. There it is. And you can, it's a way of keeping track of stocks that you're looking at. Now, I'm not comparing Google Finance to any other stock tracking software or website out there. That's not what I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do is briefly describe the portfolios feature. And it's a bunch of information. You got the name of the company, the symbol for the company, the price, the difference, what happened in the market today, size of the company, how many were traded. I don't know why that's empty, but that's not supposed to be empty. And I'm sure in the past it was actually working, but it's not right now. The open, the high, and the low for the day. Day's gain. That probably would work if I actually imported transactions, but I don't use that for Google Finance. I just do that using other means. I just use Google Finance for data. And it's free. You can't beat free. If you're looking at prices, if you're comparing prices, free is hard to beat. Over here at this Google Finance, I don't know. I mean, I'm just struggling a little bit. Let's see. How about AZN? After hours. Look at that. Healthcare companies. Or they're not. They're research companies, but they're in the medical field. Yeah, they're healthcare companies. They're drug companies. Here's a link to their website in case you just want to, see what they actually have to say. The news here is generally kind of not that. It can help you alert you to what's going on, but it can also be a lot of useless information. Countless years ago, you probably don't remember, countless years ago, it was possible to leave comments on a Google Finance page like this. Kind of where this ad is here. By the way, look at the ads. They're not that intrusive. But you could, at one point, leave comments on a Google Finance page like this one and say, yeah, AstraZeneca, they're researching a new cancer drug and it hasn't been approved. Sell today. just like you would on any other place you can leave a post. And having a look at AstraZeneca here, oh, this is not the right one. Let me see. I don't know why it went here. I wanted the New York Stock Exchange one. That's some kind of a Swiss franc denominated. It's a global company, all right? All right, so I don't know. I mean, oh, one of the nice features about the new Google Finance is this part over here. It gives you a lot of space to just relax, and it's lets you stretch out. Not a lot going on, but it's a great space. It's a great space they have over here. And on this version of Google Finance, I don't know. It's just data, data, data. What are you going to do with all that data? So Google Finance is really just solving all of its problems pretty easily. They're just getting rid of all of the ugly data and replacing it with nice, clean space. Probably good for touch screens. I heard that was why they did it, so that you could actually. How do I get back? See, if I click on this, well, that doesn't do anything. If I click on this, it takes me to google.com, and if I click on this market summary, that's actually how I get to the front page. So they're getting rid of all of the ugly data and replacing it with, I don't know, large tiles that maybe are easier to use on a touch screen.